A very warm welcome to all of you. So I, Jyoti Kapoor, along with my co-SRs women, Monica Bhagwagar, Parveen Tuli and Priyanka Kothari, welcome you all to the Right Circle, a space where thoughts find language, stories find courage, and voices find belonging. Today is not just about writing, it is about pausing, reflecting, and allowing your inner world to gently unfold onto paper. Whether you are a seasoned writer or someone who simply feels deeply, this circle is for you. Thank you for choosing to be here, to listen, to share, and to honor the power of words. About Prabha Khaitan Foundation, it is a renowned Indian non-profit cultural trust dedicated to promoting literature, arts, culture, and intellectual dialogue across the country. Founded in the memory of the distinguished writer, philanthropist, and entrepreneur Prabha Khaitan, the foundation works to encourage literary engagement and creative expression, support meaningful conversations around art, culture, and special social thoughts, create platforms where voices from diverse backgrounds can be heard. Through initiatives like the Right Circle, the foundation nurtures creativity and builds communities that celebrate the transformative power of words. Now, I would like my co-SRs woman, Parveen Tuli, to introduce the guest of the evening, Ms. Swati Pandey. Parveen.
Good evening, everyone. Ms. Swati Pandey, the Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Maharashtra Airport Development Company, is a distinguished career bureaucrat with over 28 years of leadership in aviation, infrastructure development, public policy, financial inclusion, and atomic energy. As Postmaster General of Mumbai, she is one of India's most dynamic regions and earned international academic recognition for Project Kamathipura, a Harvard-published case study on socio-financial inclusion in one of India's most marginalized communities. Her debut book, Invisible in Plain Sight, is a powerful examination of the lives of sex workers of Kamathipura, pushed to society's edges, an unflinching exploration built on empathy, rigorous research, and a deep commitment to truth. Through this work, she compels readers to confront entrenched biases and re-examine notions of privilege, dignity, and visibility. She's also credited with initiating the renovation of 115-year-old Mumbai General Post Office through deep research on its unique Indo-Saracenic architectural style. Beyond governance, Ms. Pandey is a National Award-winning filmmaker for Elephants Do Remember and an evocative storyteller. A TEDx speaker and an ISB alumna, she continues to inspire through her rare blend of administration acumen, creative depth, and unwavering dedication to social equity and cultural preservation. I acknowledge the presence of our collaborative partners here, Lokvat Media House, Radisson Blu, and my team of SRs women for culminating this event to fruition. Now I request Priyanka Kothari, who's our conversationist today, to accompany our author, Ms. Swati Pandey, to the stage. Can we have a round of applause, please? Let us all sit back, switch off our cell phones or silent it, and immerse ourselves in the conversation we have all been waiting for. Thank you so much.
So, good evening, everybody. Parveen, I think that was quite a mouthful, I think. I mean, you could have just said Dhurandhar. So, I will not waste time because it's too much to cover. So, let's start where the steel was forged. Please tell us about your very unusual upbringing in Dandakarnya.
So namaskar all of you, and just I was telling a few people that I grew up in a very small, not a town, actually a village. I was born in Dandakaranya, and anybody who is a mythology buff would know exactly. It's where the Pandavas were exiled. So can I also joke that maybe I was born out of exile and the wish to be free? Yeah, I was there early on. Absolutely. My parents were doctors. They were doctors for the refugee displacement project of East Bengal. 1972 war, a lot of Hindu Bangladeshis. I won't say Bangladeshis because that time it was East Pakistan, right? 1947 to 71, when the country had partition, East Bengal had become East Pakistan. So there were a lot of displacement people, and my parents headed the mission of getting the East Pakistan people into India and how to do it. And of course, they did a lot of tribal work with tribal India, which was the Madia and the Muria Gonds. So childhood for me actually was growing up with the Gonds. My parents had no time for me because when you're doctors, you really don't have time for your own kids because you have time for other people's kids, right? Not for your own. So that was, Forrest was my teacher. I still eat a lot of wild herbs from forests. I know a lot of survival eating roots because that is what inspired me to become an anthropologist. Saving tribal India. I was young, so there's nothing called saving, let me tell you, because I think they were insanely more talented, more, ancestral in their knowledge base. In fact, my second book I'm writing about is how we are losing ancestral knowledge of the tribals. And so that was growing, no formal education for me till I came to Bhubaneswar. 1980s Bhubaneswar was a place with nobody knew where it was. After that, I came to Nagpur. So I would say I'm a Nagpur girl because I shifted to Nagpur in my graduation. So by the time I was about 17, I came to Nagpur. And Hislop College is where my education. And I did not know much of English. Zero Marathi. Very poor Hindi because I grew up in jungles of Dandakarani and Bhubaneswar. So I could speak really great Odia, my mom's Odia, and very fantastic Bengali, and that's about it. So when I came here, people asked me that where are you from? In very spoken language, I said I'm from Odisha, Bhubaneswar, and everybody, all my classmates told me, where the hell is that? As if Nagpur was so advanced. that where I came from had no memory, right? They don't even know where is Odisha. Any which ways. So that one thing led to other. And I have been in Maharashtra since 1989. I speak very good Marathi, by the way, now. And that's how my trajectory from Nagpur, I went to Pune. From Pune, then, I took anthropology, the University of Pune. I was a gold medal student there. Then I worked with UNICEF in Delhi UNICEF. My field was Bihar. So I worked with the Bihar Dalit Vikas Samiti, and I was looking into reproductive child health. Okay, so pregnant and lactating mothers, and my own age was 21. Wow. So please, please bear with us that people who as young as 21 are making your reproductive policies. But it's during that time I realized that, you can work for any NGO and you can have a lot of goodwill in your heart. But if you're not part of the government, that is the heart of India, government. If you're not a part of public policy, if you're not a person who is able to construct policy, then you're really not doing any justice to your own aspirations, what you understand about the field. I've always been a field worker. I grew up in the field. I've always been a field worker. It's when I wrote the civil services right here, my Institute of Science was my center. I wrote this services here, and I'm a 97 batch Indian Postal Service officer, and of course I've taken many deputations. I went, as she's read, to the Department of Atomic Energy. I was in the Films Division. I was the CEO of the Children Film Society. Then I came back to India Post, and now I head aviation. I handle 15 airports of Maharashtra. And like I said, I'm coming from Amravati Airport, and very soon you will have night landing in Amravati Airport, one of the few rural airports in India that has night landing.
So UNICEF was your first job as a gold medalist anthropologist. And that's where you came to know that in first attempt you've gone through your UPSC. And you were not like totally very, very happy about it, or you weren't too excited about it. I won't say happy, but probably, as you mentioned in the book, like you were like, this is so much better and I'm doing already so much. So, and then you have these 3 decades of UPS, of public services. So I don't think was it a calling? Did you feel it then? Or was it a career choice? Like, when you reflect back, what would have happened if you've not taken
If I had not taken, I would be in the UN. I would be somewhere in New York or Geneva for sure, because I was excellent at my job, because I'm very dedicated. I even today work 18 hours a day. I do not sleep. I do not let anybody sleep. That's I've often, actually WhatsApped an SMS to Honorable CM, because he's my chairman, at 2 a.m. in the night. And my husband tells me that he's going to have you institutionalized. So for heaven's sakes, for me, when the country gives you a responsibility, I take this very seriously. And like I'm a small town person, I grew up right here, Bhubaneswar, Nagpur, not places that did not give you an outlet in those days. Today it's a different Nagpur. I'm sure all of you understand that 1980s Nagpur. And I passed out from Hislop in the year 1991, except for one more girl student, another student, a classmate. All the women got married, and their homemakers. Nothing wrong with homemaker, because I have a boy and I am in my own way a homemaker. But that was in Nagpur. The only ambition was to marry a nice man. It was very difficult to get out of that trap of being somebody, wanting to discover your own country, wanting to put in something. So I told you why I joined the government. I felt that there was something missing in the social sector interface, because you could be a field worker and you could have all these great ideas and you could even know what will make this policy tick. But till you are not a architect of that policy, you're not going anywhere. It's like you have all the dreams, but you don't have a highway. Right? So I can't say it was a conscious choice. I can't say it was not a conscious choice, because I was 21, 22. Which 22-year-old is absolutely certain about a life's choice? Yeah. So the calling was to definitely
make a change.
No. Be a part of this ticking nation. My father was a refugee. My father left his country, which was East Pakistan, because he left it in 1948. 1947, that part of India was called East Bengal. 1948, it was East Pakistan, where young people were forced to learn Urdu. So, one day you're writing Bengali as your medium of education, and the second day, the country decides that Urdu is your national language. My father left his country, walked with a caravan, and he was 13 years old. And I lost my buas to the partition. I lots of violence in my own family background. And my father, who was first class first in his high school, Datta High School, his plaque still remains in my hometown of Netragana. I do not know which is my hometown. My father's hometown, I beg your pardon. And he begged on the streets of Kolkata for 2 years before being picked up by Ramakrishna Mission. And that's, for me, this is what the nation is.
Yeah. I don't think this next question would make much sense now. But still, I would like to ask, because Gadchiroli was your first posting.
That was my first posting.
So that was an obvious choice for your seniors, because you've already worked with UNICEF.
No, I was dumped. You see, nobody wants Chandrapur Gadchiroli.
Yeah. But like I said, that was an obvious choice for them.
Yeah, no,
Why?
So they said that, and my husband could not manage a good posting. He's a cop. So then he said that they're offering me Chandrapur. What do you say? I was very excited. I said, wow, jungle mein rehna padega. I was like, even today, I'm very fond of jungles. For me, it's like my bachpan is back. So yeah, so when I was given, no direct recruit had ever gone.
Yeah.
No lady had ever gone. And those were the days. See, I was posted in 2000 to 2004. It was the Red Corridor. Naxalism was at its highest. 17 hours no electricity, and I was a new mother. Temperatures in Chandrapur hit 47 degrees. You could actually... My nose used to bleed all the time. All the time I used to have nosebleed. All the time. Because I had a traveling job. I was the senior superintendent of post offices, and under me were 500 post offices, Chandrapur, Gadchiroli, and about 12,000 staff. And I was about 27 years old, 28 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, just correct me. I maybe have gotten the timeline incorrect. So, you got married while you were in Gadchiroli. You were always, you married and you
Before. I just married before, And then we went to Chandrapur, Gadchiroli. I took care of both. My husband was SP Chandrapur.
Okay.
Yeah, he had the better job. I had the more difficult job of going up to Sironcha and Bhamragad and Etapalli and Kamlapur.
Yeah.
And these are places that even today is difficult to go.
So, Santhal, which was
Yeah.
your UNICEF, where you worked for UNICEF, you were single. And Gadchiroli,
Yeah.
you were a mother and a wife.
Yeah.
What was the dynamic change, and what did you feel? How were you placed emotionally and socially, and how did you feel? What does it change?
See, I have always grown up with, with people who are not really in the mainstream. Exactly. Because for me, it's a very difficult word. What is mainstream? Are we who are really cut away from the world mainstream? Would you call us mainstream? I do not know. See, when you have grown up the way I've grown up, for me, this differentiation is very difficult. Mainstream is such a colonial word. Hum and wo. Is there really a hum and wo? There's not there, right? So for me, social standing became very high because here was this lady who actually went to villages. And in fact, I'll tell you how fun life was. Today in Bombay, I'm one of the bureaucrats. In Gadchiroli, I was the bureaucrat. Wo wali madam. Because they did not know the collector. Why will the collector go to Permili and sit, you tell me? The collector would sit in Gadchiroli and hukum chalao. Why will anybody want to go to a place walking 5 kilometers to sit and have a mela, savings mela? And one of these melas, in fact, I'll tell you how life is when you are all out. I had gone for a postal savings mela. We have something called a postal life insurance and the rural life insurance. Basically, life insurance for villagers. And I was telling people why you should insure yourselves and what it does. And then one lady and her daughter, I thought it was daughter, and they came in to me and they said that we have a problem and we need to discuss with you. ठीक है, काय झालं? Then they said that this is my daughter and her husband has abandoned her and she has been sent back. And you please, her husband is in Rajura, some village in Rajura. You please go to that village and get her husband back. Arey, I said that.
Officer mane officer.
I said that, I said, how will I get her husband back? They said, no, तुम्ही ऑफिसर आहे, तुम्हाला हे करायचं आहे. I said, पण मी कसं करू? हे कोण माणूस आहे? कुठे राहणार? Then they said, she said that, look, madam, everybody says you are very powerful. You see, power, what power means. If you go and tell that boy and एकदम दम दिला नंतर हे लगेच घेणार माझा मुलगीला. I said, okay, let me try. It stayed in my head. I came and told my husband that, I had this interesting conversation and this old woman has told me this. Nothing to do with postal, nothing to do with sarkari, nothing to do with... My husband said, don't get into husband-wife fighting, huh? Don't get into this. Because he said, who knows who's at... पुलिस वाला है भाई, उसको हमेशा लगता है that there is some wrong angle. Even when I fight today with my husband, he says wrong angle hai. I said, bhai, theek hai. But you know, that lady, that girl must not be more than 17, 18. Tribal India? She looked so young. That image did not leave my head. After about 5-7 days, I told my ASP HQ, I said, ये राजूरा का ये गांव में मेला डालो. He said, madam, ये तो गांव बहुत ही निपट मफसल है. I said, तुम डालो, देखते हैं. Then he said, वो गांव में तो पोस्ट ऑफिस नहीं है. I said, तुम डालो वहाँ, हो नहीं हो, you know, ग्राम पंचायत को बोलो कि मैडम आना चाहती है. He said, okay. Then my postmaster and my clerks all came with me. I said, we'll talk about this. Then I told that postmaster, नज़दीक के गांव के, क्योंकि वो पोस्ट ऑफिस गांव नहीं था. So I said, I need this family and I need them to be Hajir Karod in front of me because I realized I'm very powerful. You know, fine. He said, okay, madam, luggage me Hajir Karnar. And then, you know, he went. And I said, I want his parents and I want the young man. I had this mela and all that, and I saw this family. This young man must not be more than 22, 23 by. So what is a 17-year-old fighting with a 22-year-old? Huh? Then I said, what? You know what they said? They said, this lady does not cook well and she fights. And she says that I will only cook that kind of food. I will not cook this kind of food. And she argued and argued. So we said, you go back to your home where you can cook your type of food. Tribal India, they were all Gonds. I said, you know, I told myself, I am a Bengali, my husband's a Pandey. I can't live without fish. Imagine the poor Pandey. I said, if this was true, then I realized my husband really adjusts a lot with me, right? Because now I realize that what food means. You see, I'm telling you something in very jovial light, how important food structure is to all our families. You learn so much about society by understanding how people think. So you can dissolve a marriage because food is not adjustable. Then I really, you know, I thought that let me try being this officer madam that they think I am. And I told that if you don't go and get that girl back home, I am going to tell the collector not to give you ration. Why will the collector have listened to me? Because I wanted to threat that person about something. And then I said, you don't worry, I will tell that lady's mother also that girl ko tum sikha kar bhejo ki wo yahan ka khana sikhegi. So you know. And they said, if you promise, madam, please, wo to itna kharab khana. It became a food talk. Okay? I said, you don't worry. Then I told this young man, look, she's your wife. He said, I don't know, madam. My mother said, isko bhaga do, to maine bhaga diya.
Oh, ये तो घर की कहानी.
Exactly. No, then eventually I heard from that गांव का postmaster that madam वो लड़का आया था और हम लोग सब समझाए और उसके माँ को भी समझाए कि लड़की को वहाँ से adjust करना चाहिए. वो चली भी गई. About a year later, they came to meet me in Chandrapur with their baby girl.
Oh, how sweet.
And I had a baby boy. So, you know, I was a new mother. It was, for me, that's power. One family that you could save, that's power. So
That's power with compassion. I mean,
no, you know,
that is more important.
I was not doing with compassion, remember? It was just that when people look at you, when people think that you can solve their problem, you can't say, it is not my problem. That I am a postal officer here and I have just come for a business meet. You can't say. Because for them, you are everything.
No, but I'm saying there might be officers who would have said that. That is not my problem. So the compassion has to be there. So you actually championed the last, I mean, probably we can call you the champion of the last mile, like literally.
Or maybe I'm just a eccentric person who loves poking my nose into problems.
No, this is like I said, this is just a compassion in you talking and doing things. From these landscapes of forests to the legacy and letters. So you became the you became the general postmaster for Mumbai. So what was your first impression, or what did you think when you entered the Mumbai post office, the general huge post office? Like, did you see the literal and the metaphorical decay of the building or of the postal system itself? Like, it's no more the legacy what it is. Or did you see there is some history waiting to breathe again?
Look, when I came into postal services, I was already, when I became the Postmaster General Mumbai, I was already 7 years out of the department. I had done 5 years of nuclear energy, and that was a very high profile job because I was there when India launched its biggest nuclear power plant, Kudankulam, which gave for the first time 1,000 megawatts to the grid. 1,000 megawatts of nuclear energy in Kudankulam. I was also there for the launch of the phase 2. If anybody knows nuclear energy, India runs in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Dr. Homi Bhabha's nuclear program. So phase 2 of the program was a plutonium fast breeder reactor that is called Project Bhavini. So I was also there for the launch of Project Bhavini. So I had a different mindset about, these are the temples of modern India. These huge structures, these huge 50,000 crores investment, right? So I had come in from there. When I came back to India Post, my first day in Mumbai GPO, you're right, I realized that India Post somewhere had not run as fast the race that it could have run because the reach is there. The last mile connectivity is there. But maybe they had lost faith in themselves. I felt that if you don't believe in your strength, you are always going to second doubt yourself. But when I entered this building, this is a huge building of 1,20,000 square meter carpet area. And the room I was given was about easily 5,000 square meter carpet. Easily. In Mumbai, opposite CST station. Real estate prices, if anybody knows Mumbai, this would be, I think, 5 lakhs per square meter. Don't know the numbers, right? About a week later, I was just getting used to, heavy volumes of work and all. One person came running to me, Madam, छत का एक portion टूट गया है. I was very worried. Postman hall में छत का एक portion टूट गया है. I went running. I said, oh gosh. And that's when I realized, सच्ची में छत से एक huge chunk टूट गया था. Huge chunk. Thankfully, the postmen were out delivering letters. It hurt nobody. Then I looked in, and remember, we sit in the tri-junction of BMC, CST and Mumbai GPO. This is the world's second highest traffic junction after New York. Yeah, this is world's second highest trafficked cross junction, and BMC was very swanky, CST is completely, and Mumbai GPO, then I realized that the building is broken everywhere. It is just broken everywhere. Then I came back and I asked my building clerk that, find out when was this building last renovated. He said, madam, isko painting har saal hum karte hain. अच्छा, I showed, दिखाओ मुझे. हर साल 2-3 रूम पेंटिंग होता है.
Of course.
1,20,000 square meter carpet का. Right? I said, when was the major renovation work done? No idea. I went to my boss, the Chief Postmaster General, and I said, sir, why is Mumbai GPO in such a bad shape? वो भी वहीं बैठते थे, हम भी वहीं बैठते थे. मुंबई GPO में आज के दिन almost 800 लोग बैठते हैं. 800. He said, स्वाति जी, ये तो grade 1 heritage structure है और हम में से कोई इसको take up नहीं करना चाहता. Why? वो बहुत permissions लगते हैं. I said, sir, okay. Then while doing an auditing, the dome, Mumbai GPO is the second largest freestanding dome in the country after Gol Gumbaj, Bijapur. Wow. Second largest. The dome had a 3/4 crack. I called a structural auditor. Yeah. I said, can you audit my dome? Because I could see the crack down. He said, madam, 20 साल में आपका dome गिर जाएगा. Please do something about it. then started my journey to want to do something about it. Then the person who had, I had taken the charge from, that other Postmaster General who was shifted to males, he said, oh, don't bother. If you इसमें हाथ डालोगी, तो तुम CBI में arrest हो जाओगी. I thought, why? Why? He said, no, because India Post में ना इतना बड़ा काम कोई करता नहीं है. We are not civil engineers. So, and it's renovation of heritage structure, which BMC has a committee called the Heritage, Heritage Committee, which you have to send the paperwork and they will ask you 1,000 questions. He said, just don't get into it. I said, the building is breaking. हर जगह मैं देख रही हूँ और इतना टूटा हुआ था कि अंदर से जो rods हैं ना उसमें junk था. Even the rods inside the building had junk. And this building was inaugurated in 1913. The construction started in 1904. Wow. And the construction cost of this building was 19 lakhs in 1904. Imagine. Exactly. Right. Then I felt that, look, I do not know what happened before me. Which Postmaster General did what, which Chief Postmaster General did what. But I don't want to be that person ki khade toot gaya. Right? So I went to my secretary. Everybody said that, Swati, this is impossible a job. You're an anthropologist. How will you do a renovation? I said, sir, hum thodi na khud karna hai. Then I went and talked to railways. I said, why will you not give us your services? क्योंकि आप VT हमेशा करते रहते हो CST. They said, हम तो इतना ही busy रहते हैं CST में, हम तो आपको नहीं help कर सकते. सरकार, even each other they won't help. I went to BMC. They said, we have this architect, that architect, that architect. We are state government, you are central government. It is not going to work. I kept on begging people. Then I found INTAC. INTAC said, we are a very expensive PMC. Long story cut short, I could convince my secretary. But my own powers were not so high because this building cost became 63 CR. India Post said, we will not give you. 63 CR is impossible. It means all over India का building renovation बंद करके हमको आपको देना है. I said, sir, मेरी building 100 साल पुरानी है. You have to understand, this is मान सम्मान. It's हमारी दुल्हन है. Oh, they said, we don't think of it. It's business for us. Then I came and asked my consultant, I said, minimum for this building not to break, forget instrumentation. Minimum kitna paisa lagna hai? Please do an estimate. So they said, they came out, 32 CR ke niche, madam, ye hoi. And today I realized 32 CR is nothing. Nothing for a building that big, including heritage, right? I went to India Post. I said, sir, आपको ये करना ही पड़ेगा. No, and luckily that secretary was from my hometown, Odisha. I fought with him and I said, sir, you have to give me this money. नहीं तो मैं इसके पास जाऊंगी, उसके पास ये मंत्री के पास जाऊंगी और मैं खुद पार्लियामेंट में क्वेश्चन उठाऊंगी that why was India Post sleeping in this building? That secretary said, you're such a headache. ठीक है, तुम phase 1 ले लो, 18 crore we'll give you and you do. Right? Now, anybody who knows a little civil engineering, before you start renovation, you need the blueprint. Because this building was 1903's blueprint. I can't do it. When I asked, iska blueprint kahan milega? They said, Mumbai, BMC has everybody's blueprint. I went to BMC, they said, Mumbai GPU, none of us have. Oh. So, I felt so insulted that postal system in the British Raj was a very important system. Very, very important system they did not have. Then we had a plug writing, the chief architect of this project is John Begg. Right, John Begg. And his intern was George Whitted. George Whitted is the one who's made your Gateway of India. He was a student, intern student. I wrote to Victoria and Albert Museum. They said, look, we don't have Bombay GPUs, but we have Prince of Wales or the Chhatrapati Sangrahalaya. Uska blueprint hai. Mumbai GPU was a incomplete structure and this was an experiment in Indo-South. It is the first Indo-Islamic building of Mumbai. The first Indo-Islamic. Kyunki revolt ho chuka tha 1857 ka and Tilak And Mahatma Gandhi ji had brought in a lot of revolution and revolt, Gwalior tank movement, So the British wanted to build something that was not Victorian. They wanted to build something that was Indian. So they chose an Indo-Saracenic. I paid $100 to get a blueprint of the CST. Personal $100. I said, no, you please give me the blueprint. With that blueprint, we sat. Again, long story short, we actually rebuilt Mumbai GPO. If you see the Mumbai GPO today, fantastic. Vidarbha teak I took, Nagpur teak, because British had taken Vidarbha teak. I said, teak aayega to Nagpur se hi aayega. So, Dhrangdharas, a lot of Kurla basalt tha. Kurla mein mine to hai nahi aaj. Khali building hi building hai. So we had to change the basalt. The Minton tiles that was made, earthen tiles, we had to get Bharat tiles. So a lot of things we had to redo, reimagine. But Mumbai GPO today will stand, with God's wish, another 50 years at least.
Yeah, and because of you.
No, because of people
Of
who
course,
believed and,
in
my
you.
postman. And it's always a team, right?
Yeah, of course. But then you did everything what was required.
I just felt very proud of. This is our heritage.
So, since we are at the poster right now, so what did COVID look like during the postal services look like during the COVID?
See, in COVID, because Mumbai had the first death of COVID, Ghatkopar mein, the lady, first death of India happened in Mumbai. So Mumbai was panic, and COVID was a panic time. Now we have something called COVID warriors. All of us fetted our COVID warriors. They counted the BMC workers, sanitation workers, doctors, nurses, cops. They forgot the postman. We were asked to 24 hours work because we were moving the COVID vaccines. We were moving the PPE kits. We were moving your ventilators. People just forgot. Nobody remembers the postman because he's so much, down market. Right? So first day of COVID, 5,000 plus staff with me. Mumbai region, I took a count. 71 people.
Oh.
And we got an instruction from India, from government and as well as Mantralay, sare post offices khule rakhna hai. And in Mumbai region, I had 221 post offices.
And
एक भी आदमी डालूं तो भी नहीं खोल सकती. Yeah. So I could not. First day, I sat in the counter of Mumbai GPO telling that give me a pass key because, everybody who opens the post office computer has to have a pass key. It's money, right? India Post runs money. Mumbai region had 27,000 crores of cash. Cash and credit. So that's the RBI account I ran. Chalo. So first day what happened? CID वाले आकर 11-12 चिट्ठी मेरे को पकड़ा दिए. मैडम ये तुम आप रखो दिल्ली भेज दो. आई सेड भाई कैसे भेजे? ही सेड नहीं नॉट माय प्रॉब्लम. आपको ही भेजना पड़ेगा. ये क्रिमिनल्स के बारे में है. आई सेड आज के दिन में कोई क्रिमिनल किसको तंग नहीं करेगा. डोंट वरी. मुंबई शट डाउन. The COVID looked like that, but we had, why we were open? One, for your PPE kits, vaccinations and all. Second, we have a lot of old people who save with India Post. वो कहीं घर से बाहर नहीं जाते थे. They are not digitally literate. So we had to deliver old age pensions to their houses. So we had to open ourselves.
And she, under her, 812 crore was sent in pension, home delivered, door delivered. So, and you got Amitabh Bachchan also.
Yeah. Free of charge. I'll tell you that very interesting story. Somebody from Amit ji's office, his PS, Mr. Rajesh Singh, called up. And he said, Madam, we need you to open Juhu Post Office. I said, no, it will not open because Juhu does not have too much of old age people who need the pension. I'll only open in places where old age people live in, conglomeration. Juhu is an educated place. He said, I said, problem kya hai? He said, अमित जी का पियानो का वो टुंगटुंगी कुछ आपके पोस्ट ऑफिस में फॉरेन से आकर पड़ा है. अमित जी नीड्स दैट वेरी बैडली. आई सेड आई डोंट केयर. मुझे क्या पड़ी है, अमित जी का पियानो नहीं बज रहा है. मेरी अपनी पियानो काफी बज रहा है. Then he said, Madam, Amit ji will like to talk to you. I said, yeah, definitely. I just love his voice, right? All of us love his voice. Amit ji said, that नमस्कार मैं अमिताभ बच्चन बोल रहा हूँ. I said, sir, नमस्कार मैं स्वाति पांडे बोल रही हूँ. Please. He said, madam, I really need this क्योंकि मैं तो घर में बंद हूँ. I'm an old person myself and I need this very badly because I do not know how to pass time. So I want to learn to play the piano. I said, Amit ji, I'm very sorry. I can't open the post office because post office is choked with mail. You know, room भर के आया था mail and we just locked it and we scoot. We only kept the savings bank operations open. I said, Amit ji, मैं अगर खोलूँ भी तो भी आपका नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि इसमें 10,000 चीज़ें ठूसी है. He said, if you give me my piano thing, whatever you want मैं आपको करके दूंगा. Whatever. I said, मुझे सोचने दीजिए. Then I called up my secretary. I said, sir. He said, हाँ. He said, फिर से क्या प्रॉब्लम है? I said, sir, इस बार प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Please. I generally cause problems with new ideas. I said, sir, so हुआ. Amitabh Bachchan owes us a favor. What is it that you want today? What does India Post want of Amitabh Bachchan? He said, मैं मंत्री जी को फ़ोन करके पूछता हूँ. Mr. Ravishankar Prasad was the मंत्री. They said if Amit ji, you know, makes a short film about COVID warriors being India Post postmen and says that unko salam and says that salute to acknowledge India Post, then we will do it. Fine, great, I love the idea, frankly. Then I called up Amit ji. He said, हाँ. I said, I have a favor to ask. He said, हाँ, please बताइए. I said, Amit ji, आपको एक पिक्चर बनाकर हमको देना है जहां आप बोलेंगे इंडिया पोस्ट जिंदाबाद, पोस्टमैन सबसे बढ़िया लोग हैं, उनके बिना हम कोई ठीक से नहीं रह पाते हैं, फिर मैं आपको आपका पियानो दूंगा. I'll give you. He said, नहीं, फिर आप मुझे पहले देंगे, फिर मैं बाद में पिक्चर बनाऊंगा. Yeah. I said, done. I said, do you promise as a gentleman you'll do it? He said, I will. And I said, free of cost. He said, free of cost. I said, not only, you will give me a full production picture with your background. ऐसा नहीं कि आप आधा मुझे पकड़ा दीजिए और मैं क्या करूं? And you will say copyright India Post. He said, मैडम जी मेरा प्लीज पियानो का दे दीजिए, मैं सब कुछ करने को तैयार हूँ. Then I opened the Juhu post office. It took my postman actually 2 days of looking for Amitabh Bachchan's piano thing because it was a small, you know, it's a piano string. My postman went and gave it to him. Then he said, ये आपकी मैडम जी को बोलिए मैं ज़रूर 2 दिन में आपको दे दूंगा क्योंकि बड़ा झगड़ालू है भाई रे भाई. And then he asked the postman कि कहाँ की है, क्या है, पांडे, then बंगाली. He said, मेरी वाली भी बंगाली है, बाप रे बाप. Because he told me that later. Then, you know, he shot this and then I gave it to my mantri. TV में बहुत चला. So we became the COVID warriors. Then Amit ji once called me and he told me the same thing in Bengali. এখন বুঝতে পারলাম যে তুমি কেন একদম শুনলে না. এই আমার বাড়িতেও আছে একটা বাঙালি. I said, thank you very much. So yeah.
Super. So in the but I mean, you have such a prolific career, but we are really constrained with time.
Always gone looking for trouble.
But that's the trouble for others that you took, for your department that you took, and for which we all are very grateful. I have to jump to Kamatipura. So you were on all these, you know, these fancy corridors. So what all strategy and all educated and scale and all, and then what took you to the space of such raw emotion? You need not have gone to Gadchiroli 5 kilometers. You did not have to go to place of such stigma. What made you? Why did you go there? What was that happened?
There was a gentleman who just had a conversation with me, and I am also guilty of that charge. Look, I am not holier than thou. Let me tell you this very frankly. I have crossed Kamatipura many times before. Bombay Central, Kamatipura, I've crossed that. And like all of us, I have been revolted because when women are standing peddling, you know, बुरा मत मानिए मैं हिंदी में बोलती हूँ because that's the impact. जब औरतें खड़ी होकर धंधा करती हैं, it's a very jarring sight because हम सब ना we're not used to this, right? Like everybody, either I used to look the other way in my car or I used to pull my गाड़ी का शीशा, you know, to take myself out. जैसे कि उनकी नज़र से ही मेरी कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. एंड दैट्स हाउ इवन आई वॉज, बिकॉज हम सबको सिखाया गया है दैट दीज आर बैड वीमेन. आई एम ऑल्सो गिल्टी ऑफ दैट चार्ज. लेट मी से दिस very, very, very emphatically. But during COVID, about the 10-15 day when I was going and inspiring my people that please come and please join the office and please see it's open, I went to Bombay Central head post office. When I was sitting and, giving my post people that why we have to come and why we have to keep the post offices open and why old people need our help, I had this huge ruckus. Women in masks and women completely covered were shouting. Then I said, क्या चल रहा है? ये नाटक क्या चल रहा है? My postmaster told me that, madam, don't bother. मैं काम भी कर रही थी. I was myself tired. I didn't bother and I kept on working. When after finishing, when I was going, these women were howling. But when I just crossed them, I looked back. True incident, huh? Because that howling was not in Hindi, not in Marathi. It was in Bengali. Not only was it in Bengali, it was in an East Bengali accent. It's like, if you won't understand, but if it is Apni Khaben Ki is Bengali, in East Bengal it is Khaito Saki. So, it's a very colloquial accent, only an East Bengali will know. I turned back. My postmaster मेरा पल्लू पकड़ कर खींच रहा था कि मैडम चलिए चलिए चलिए. I said, क्यों भाई? He said, मैडम ये तो गंदी औरतें हैं. And he was a man. अब देखिए, you're all women. Don't get me wrong, gentlemen. But when a man tells you कि ये तो गंदी औरतें हैं, you get very angry. Who are you to tell कौन औरत अच्छी है और कौन औरत गंदी है? I lost my temper. Then I looked at these women and I said, who are you guys? क्यों चिल्ला रहे हो यहाँ? Post office है, क्यों चिल्ला रहे हो? Then they pin drop silence. Then I asked somebody, are you a Bengali? She looked at me. No answer. Then I said, if you don't have to talk, I'm leaving. When I was leaving, one of those girls told me in Bengali that, did your postmaster not tell you who we are? Sorry for the language. I have never been more shocked in my life, because now these women were not looking decorated and dolled up. They were looking women just like you and me. Simple salwar kameez pehni thi. Ordinary people who are so stressed. Then I actually, after standing quietly, I said, what is it that you want? They said, we have heard that you are giving money. We are very hungry. Our children are dying. We are dying. Please give us money. I said, do you have post office accounts? They looked at me. Of course, they laughed. No, we don't have any accounts. I said, this money is for people who have post office accounts. We are just taking it out and giving it to them. They said, Didi, you have to come to us to see. My postmaster kept on telling me, madam, kya, kahan aap phas gayi hain? But I couldn't look the other way. And I think none of you could have possibly. I don't know. I went in. Their kholis are 4x4. Newspapers as walls. Dead bodies. Dead bodies and putrefaction. Bachon ka bhi. I didn't even want to write this because I did not want to sell, I told them, look, I puked and all that happened. But I said, look, I'll come back to you. Copper Chimney is a restaurant chain in Bombay. Haan. Joy Kapoor Sahab is a very good friend of my family. And he was giving food, He did a lot of philanthropy. I called up Joy Kapoor sir and I said, Kapoor sahab, आप पुलिस वालों को भर के देते हैं, आप migrants को भर के देते हैं. I need you to give me at least 400-500 food packets, but destination आपको पसंद नहीं आएगा. नहीं, he said, बोलिए मैडम. I said, कमाटीपुरा. He said, देखिए मैडम, खाना मैं पहुंचा दूंगा, लेकिन मेरे बच्चे अंदर नहीं जाएंगे. I said, okay. I told my postman, You have to go. खाना पोस्ट ऑफिस आएगा, बट आपको लेकर अंदर जाना ही पड़ेगा. My postman said, no, we will not go. I said, nothing. If you don't go, you'll get suspended. I will take you out of a job. Because we cannot look the other way. I called up BMC. I said, dead bodies to hataiye. At least they have a dignity. Aap jo bhi dead bodies ko to, they said they're HIV positive, flana, you know. So that was another small battle or big battle, whatever you call it. So that is how I realized there's so much like all of us, yeah. Their mothers, their sisters, they don't have families, remember. So unki families are man-made families. Families that they made themselves. And they have a bond. And मैं जितना वहाँ घुसती रही, for me that was so original. They're unfiltered, right? तो वो जो बोलते हैं ना, उसमें कोई फिल्टर नहीं है. हम सोच कर बोलते हैं कि ये क्या सोचेगा, उसका रिपरकशन क्या होगा, उसने नहीं नाराज होना चाहिए. उनके वर्ल्ड में वो नहीं है. Because they say that, दीदी, do people even see us? They in fact say, are we even visible? क्या आप हमें देख पाती हैं? And I think, do we even see them? What do you say? Do you even see
I
them?
read, yeah, I mean, so I really want to applaud you for this book. I mean, this book could be another Epstein Files, but not at all. She's not even named herself. It's like a first person, and these are stories of those women. And then you realize these are us.
Yeah.
I mean, I can right now sitting here call myself that a Kamathipura lady is us. That is how much she's shown that empathetically she has given out their stories. And everybody who will read it know that it's not about Kamathipura, it's about the women. And it's about the human.
I
that
didn't want
stays
to
there.
write about the cartel, the nexus, the crime, because see, this is glamorous to write. But writing about women themselves, you know, उनकी क्या आशाएं हैं, वो कहाँ से आई हैं, वो अपने आप को क्या सोचती हैं, how good mothers they are. Because remember, if they have one of my girls, Kajol, who I really look up to, she has two boys from different fathers. All of you know these are all accidental births. But how nice a mother she is. And her boys, both of them look so different fathers, you know. One is short and dark, one is tall and handsome. And how much she's a mother to my boy Malhar and Kajol to her children. Maybe Kajol is more protective of our boys than I may be of Malhar. I realized, and I have taken advice, mother advice from Kajol. And Kajol's advice is, 2 chata maro, theek ho jayega. I came and did that. My son is 6'2". Haathi nahi gaya chata marne ko.
So I think I'll have to cut this because I'm already short of time. No, but the way the audience was in, I was just so engrossed, I didn't want to cut short. We've like 10 minutes ahead of our time. Only thing that I wanted to ask last is like, what do these women, I mean, I read through the book, but what is that they really want? Like rescue, recognition, or respect? Like first, one thing that they primarily, most of them want.
They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn.
They
don't give a damn.
They just own their fate. And
No, see, that's the point. This is their occupation. Whatever is your occupation, that is their occupation. So when people have asked me, it was much easier, right? That they want this from you, that from you. They don't give a damn. That's my first thing. They do need a source, which was my project. My project was to give their children Aadhaar cards so that their children could have bank accounts, they could enter schools. You know, Aadhaar card today has become this panacea. So Aadhaar cards without address proof. That is what my project was. Where India Post and NGOs together became the address proof. The post office became the address. And so we would get a signature from the NGO, sponsoring NGO, and they would come to us, the post office, and we would become the address proof to give them the Aadhaar card. Then all scholarships of Government of Maharashtra, Government of India, schools, colleges, ration cards would all flow in. So that was the project. They were happy about it. They were very happy about it because, see, every mother wants something for the child. So if you ask what do they want, Nothing. They would not even, in fact, they would tell me that, Didi, your world, you are arrested. Because I used to go and tell कि मेरा boss ने ये बोला, मेरा husband ने ये बोला, वो बोला 4 लात मारो. I said ये तो नहीं. I said भाई ये तो हमारे world में नहीं होता है. They made me realize that their world is, their world is world of freedom to their own desires also. And our world is कि, I have to tell my husband, can I do this even at this age? I'm 54. And then he says, इसके बारे में मैं सोच कर बताऊंगा. Then I tell myself, what the hell, yeah. So, yeah.
So we'll take few questions from the audience. Yeah. First you and then
Wonderful. Just wanted to keep listening to you. But what do they actually want? I mean, they've got the Aadhaar card. What do they want for their children to get out of this?
Yes.
And
Yes.
start a new life?
They want their children to be mechanics, to be fitters, and leave this world, yes. Move away. A pan dukan, kahin. No, government has done a lot of work. No, they don't want. Certainly they don't want. And government takes their children away, puts them in different residential schools. But गरीबी ऐसी बात है ना, गरीबी का कोई तोड़ नहीं है. But they say that we can't be helped. But our children should be out. Because you see, economics of the trade मैं आपको बताती हूँ, per every sexual act, they get 200 rupees. Yeah. And they live in groups. दोस्ती हो जाती है, they live in groups. So if one falls sick for a longer time, you know how big-hearted they are. The other says that I will do 5 times more and give you that money for the day. Can you imagine? And clients, look, clients have stolen their mobile phones. Because who are the clients? Rickshaw walas, truck walas, your labor force. Mobile phone उनका ले लिए, उनका घर का कंबल ले लिए हैं. It's a world you can't imagine.
Hello, it was really nice listening to you. So my question is, like, you have met so many people in your life, you've worked in various government departments, you have seen the plight of the people. So according to you, why do you feel that, people ignore these plain and invisible sight? It is not just about Kamatipura alone,
Yes.
but there are so many things.
I understand.
So what is your view on that?
You see, you have to give up something to walk this path. You have to sacrifice some. What did I sacrifice? I maybe sacrificed family time. I could have been a little more there for my son. Today, he has, to tell you, my son has missed a hostel deadline. Maybe I could have been a better mother. Maybe in wanting to do something better, I'm not a better mother. So, what are these questions? You have 24 hours. I have a full-time job. So if I take something else also, somewhere I'm cutting something. So maybe people say that we are not prepared to. Maybe the emotional toil. I was just telling a gentleman I don't sleep in the night too well. Yeah, what was I telling? Yeah. The emotional toil becomes very high. So are you ready to commit to that toil? Are you ready to live your fancy life? Because otherwise my life is very decent. From where I started in life as a normal, middle class India child to where I am today. I have my signature matters. So why, I believe that is why people look the other way. It's a big emotional toil. You're committed.
Swati ji, namaskar. I am Mateen from Lokmat. So I have quite a relatable story with you because I have studied in Ujjain. So Ujjain, the school in which I used to read, they used to allow the children of the prostitutes. So many of my class fellows were children of them. So we used to go to their houses and we used to share stories of their fathers. And so what I have, very interested in asking from you that you have mentioned in one of your interview that you could smell the despair there in that area. This is my first question. And the other one is that what changed are you looking for the reader who is going to read your book after reading that?
Very good question. The first question was what? How did I smell despair? Because I didn't. Was that a question?
What is how could you explain that?
When you enter a place and everything is rotting, and their mattresses are completely with urine, semen. When you can't imagine. When I say despair, because हम जिस world से हैं, आप और मैं, हम कितने भी साधारण हो, we've all had good lives, blessed lives, basic hygiene, घर मिला है, हम सब पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं. My book is very visual. If you read that book, you'll realize, if you close your eyes, you can see Kamatipura. I wanted to write it visually. So, sweat, semen and urine, that's the smell of Kamatipura. Right? That is what for me was the smell of despair. Because why will people want to have this in their lives? Why? And your second question, sir, was?
What change, what is the passage you want to give through?
Please don't look away. I am not saying that we all need. I was lucky because the government was with me, and I could do something. Please don't look away. You never know. Yeah?
I ended the book like, now I see them.
My last line is, now I see them. I really see them. Not as projects and not as sex workers. I see them as people. In fact, I've written a lot of fun things also. I've written fun things about fights, about, Ilish Mach. Bengalis, we eat a lot of Ilish and Chingdi. So I've written fights, how normal they are. So maybe when you are crossing one of these areas, acknowledge that they are women. That's all. For me, that's all.
नमस्ते
नमस्कार।
मैं रीमा चड्ढा। आप दंडकारण्य से हैं, वहाँ किस जगह से हैं मैं जानना चाहूँगी? मलकानगिरी से। मैं जगदलपुर बस्तर से हूँ, इसलिए बहुत एसोसिएट कर पा रही हूँ अपने आप को।
मैं मलकानगिरी में बड़ी हुई हूँ, लेकिन उमरकोट, पाखांजोर, 19 नंबर, यू नो हाउ सैड इट इज। आज भी गांव का नाम है 19 नंबर, 19 नंबर, 22 नंबर। नो आइडेंटिटी ऑफ द विलेजेस इवन टुडे।
और इतनी गहरी और संवेदनशील बात आपने की किताब के बारे में। मैं जानना चाहूँगी कि इस समस्या का कहीं कोई हल है इस दुनिया में?
सबसे एंशिएंट प्रोफेशन है मैडम।
और ये तो आपने वहाँ की बात की, और जो आम घरों में होता है, जो हमारे सर्वेंट्स के घरों की बातें वो हमको बताती हैं, तो इसलिए मुझे लगता है कि हमें औरतों से नहीं, आदमियों से बात करने की ज़रूरत है कि हम उन्हें कब सुधार सकते हैं।
मैं क्या बताऊँ, ये तो सोसाइटी देखिए काफ़ी सुधरी भी हैं हमारी बाई लोग, काफ़ी जो बोल पाती हैं। पहले तो बोल भी नहीं पाती थी हमें, आज तो ये व्यतीत कर पाती हैं। हम खुद सुनते भी हैं, पहले हमको नहीं लगता था हम लोग सुनते भी थे। तो बदलाव तो आया है और आना ही है, क्योंकि अब हमारी मेड्स सब स्मार्टफोन में भी लेकर घूमती हैं। सो ऐसा नहीं है कि बदलाव नहीं आया है, बदलाव का गति ज़रूर स्लो है, बदलाव ज़रूर है, लेकिन आई वुड से देयर इज़ चेंज। बदलाव तो है। अब कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स कंटिन्यूइंग प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, वो सोसाइटी की ही इनबिल्ट प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, हम उसको थोड़ा सा हल्का कर सकते हैं।
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
My thing was that as a child, I have been through those lanes lots of times. It was called Forest Road. And
In which area?
I was too small. I mean,
Which city?
Mumbai. Forest Road, Grant Road. So ये एरिया जो था बॉम्बे
जी,
सेंट्रल
मैं
से
समझ
वहाँ
रही
से
हूँ।
जाता
Yes,
था
yes.
the bus. I used to have the habit of taking a bus and just wandering the city because I was from Nagpur
That
and I used to
Canada Bridge
explore.
and all that area,
Yeah,
na?
so I
हाँ.
used to explore. I was always fascinated to take this particular bus because it would pass through this area and it was never invisible for me. I was always fascinated with them. I wanted to know more about them. I'm so glad you've written about this so that we come to know more about these people. they are as human, because I used to see them in the mornings.
Yeah, exactly.
So in the day, they would be sitting like normal people, and I was
chatting and
I know. And I read the word Kamathipura on a shop probably, and that's how I realized I was passing through this area. So these people now, it seems कि Bombay Central में कामाथीपुरा की बहुत सारे brothels are getting shut.
Yeah, they are.
और वहाँ पे buildings आ रही हैं, and these guys are being shifted to Turbe.
Yeah.
Are they not being exploited of the land? Because वो land कितना promising है, अगर वो land का भी उनको amount मिले, तो they would survive in a better space. So I'm asking, are they not being exploited even now by builders taking over their land?
They don't own anything.
But still they are old tenants.
Yeah, they're not even tenants. They only hire per hour. उससे ज़्यादा उनकी.
Oh, how sad.
They
So
know-
they're being
none of-
exploited even of the land that they probably have lived in forever.
They own nothing.
That's sad. That's so sad.
They own nothing. They do actually, you know, I have seen Anu, one of my girls, Anu. Once I went and I asked, where's Anu? Because she's a fantastic cook and I used to love her chicken cutlets. I said, भाई Anu किधर गई? वो तो चली गई. I said, चली गई माने? नहीं वो तो हमको नहीं मालूम है चली गई. That's how transient they become. Because they, other than one trunk, they own nothing.
That's really sad. So just, one thing I wanted to ask, the Kamathipura, what you have shown to us is completely different. What Bollywood has shown to us through Gangubai.
Please. I think that's why I wrote the book, because everybody
Yes.
told me that, it must be so fascinating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that the picture is shown completely different.
Don't
in those
trust
sense.
Mr. Bhansali.
That too is like, but even Gangubai we thought, and especially that Madam part and then your Maya part is like,
Poles apart. Poles apart. Yeah. That is how
Please,
Bollywood
please.
puts,
Bollywood
blindfold
is,
to.
You see, Bollywood is something that I have such an inherent dislike about. These are people who charge 50 crore per movie.
Possibly.
I don't
yes.
even know how many zeros that is today.
Yeah. Yeah. And on the cost of people who hardly own their lives as
Yeah,
well.
in fact, Kajol, she told me, I was going through a depression stage some time before, and she told me, I'll tell you what, she told me, Didi, why you write about us? Because my boss was troubling me. And I used to say, मैं तो लुट गई, मेरे boss इतना खराब है, and then, because I go and I sit and I chat with them and I eat, they're fantastic cooks. Then she said, you know what, you stop this crying and why don't you write one diary about us? Okay. Then I said, how will I write? She said, no, because I was taking notes. I was just taking notes for myself. She said, दीदी ऐसा है कि हमसे लोग आकर 1-2 घंटा सिर्फ बात करते हैं और हम सुनते हैं पूरा मूवी बना दिए हैं. तो आप हमारे साथ पिछले 3-4 साल से घूम रही है.
Yeah, and I think that's the dilemma what the society lives in, whether to help or not to help, because everyone sitting here wants to help but don't know how and why and where to go and what will be the question afterwards.
like so many of us are associated with NGOs, but that emotional, it's quite an emotional.
Ma'am, there's lots of initiatives. Of course, there's good and there's, people who are just there for the optics and the people who don't care. I have agreed that there are intents to help. Problem is that this is a problem that won't go.
But what keeps you like emotionally centered like that?
Ma'am, वो तो रख सकते हैं. कैसे? You see, they can't. अगर मैं आपको छोटी सी बात बोलूँ कि उनकी mattresses कितनी महंगी है mattresses? कहाँ से वो बदल पाएंगे? हम यही नहीं समझ रहे हैं. Look, they would rather hire or make themselves a 5,000 rupees ghagra to look attractive. And most of them name themselves. Kajol's name is not Kajol. It's named after Kajol. Anu named herself Shilpa because she said, I'm Shilpa Shetty. They name themselves that way. Please understand. आप और हम ये सोच भी नहीं सकते हैं. हमारे लिए जो सिंपल है, हम सोचते वो ये क्यों नहीं कर सकते. जाकर देखिए कि वो क्यों नहीं कर सकते. They have no identity, no? But Joe, the one who's giving, is also poor. Please understand. The one who's giving is not rich. This is poor, some laborer from Bihar, UP, Telangana, who's not met his wife in ages. Bombay is a land of dreams. What are these dreams is the time to question yourself. So, you can't be angry with men either.
So out of those 200 rupees, some money must be given to the madam also, no?
No, the madams don't exist anymore. It is only 5% of brothels
The
today.
owners of
No.
Neither the pimps.
Pimps also, it's gone down much. So these are freestanding sex workers, mostly.
Okay. So it seems to me that we really want to go on and on, but unfortunately, time is not on our side. I think we'll have to call you once again. And now that you're opening the airport, hopefully at Amravati, you will be crossing now.
I'm very proud of that airport. I started that from zero. In fact, somebody told me Amravati people. I said Amravati people are never satisfied. I cannot satisfy them. I launched that airport April 16th last year. In the month of March, Amravati people told you तो झूठ बोल रहे हैं, इनके पास तो कुछ नहीं है. I said भाई साहब उनको लेकर आओ देखने को. एयरपोर्ट 16 मार्च को लॉन्च है. मार्च 1 को एयरपोर्ट नहीं बना होगा तो मैं जादू से निकालूंगी. Anybody from Amravati?
Not here, no. I would now like to request Mr. Shriman Mane, he is the editor of Lokmat Nagpur edition, to please come and give a small token of our affection to Mrs. Pandey.
Oh, how pretty. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
We like to give our handicrafts, so.
Thank you.
Before I go on to my vote of thanks, a quick word. We just have 30 books. We would be offering those 30 books to the first 30 guests who came on time. You're welcome to get them autographed by her later. Please be seated. By later. Those who are really very keen for the book can approach her. I think her staff is going to help us out eventually. Yeah, we will be calling out the names. Sorry for this. It's not normally our norm, but this time we are really. We didn't know that she's going to be so popular. Well. Right. To begin with, heartiest thank you. It was a pleasure, nonetheless.
Thank you for sparing your time to hear a story.
No, it was a pleasure to have you, and I think it was an absolute delight to listen to you. I think we all will agree with that. So we would love to hear you again. A warm thank you to Prabha Khaitan Foundation for enabling us to get such wonderful guests and some wonderful speakers to Nagpur. And we assure you in future as well, we will be getting more. We thank our hospitality partner, Radisson Blu. We also want to thank Lokmat Times, which is the leading media group with publications in Marathi, Hindi and English with a combined readership of more than 2.55 crore. Thank you, Sri Cement. Thank you, the Ehsaas women of Nagpur, who always rise to the occasion, come what may, for these events. And of course, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts, as she said, for sparing your time and being with us. It's an absolute pleasure to see such happy faces and interested faces. So, thank you very much.
काहे चोटी बतिया बनाए